Evening all. Right, I'm doing another live video because it's Sunday night. I'm not going to mess around with editing it on Sunday evening. But here's a fun thing, which is so telling. And there's a letter that has been circulated or being circulated on social media at the moment from the MP Robert Kenrick to one of his constituents in reply to a query about why not stop Brexit. And one of the reasons that he gave was that it would seem like a national embarrassment. And this is so very British, isn't it? To say, oh God, how embarrassing to have to go back on something. I think Mitchell and Webb did a sketch on that with David getting married out of embarrassment because there were some misunderstandings, and so now it would be very embarrassing to correct them, so he goes through with his marriage. And here we are with Brexit in the same kind of circumstance. Well, we did agree to saw off our own arms, so it doesn't look like a very good idea now, but we did say we'd do it, so we must press on. And it's also a classic pattern in lots of British military disasters of the past. It's the whole general class mentality during World War One. Right, we're planning to go over the top tomorrow morning. Then you come back in the morning and, I see there are a whole load of Gatling guns lined up against us. Well, we did say we'd go over the top at 10 o'clock, so everyone have your cup of tea and then I'll blow the whistle and charge the guns, I guess, for Britain. And in fact, I've got a book here. It's my dad's book. It was written in the year of my birth, and it's called On the Psychology of Military Incompetence. And in it, there is a list of 14 points that are classic behaviours of incompetent military leaders that, you know, have led us to disaster. I'll pick just a few here. Number 4, a tendency to underestimate the enemy and overestimate the capabilities of one's own side. We hold all the cards, anyone? Number 6, an obstinate persistence in the given task despite strong contrary evidence. So, customs union and single market, anyone, given the situation in Ireland? Number 12, an undue readiness to find scapegoats for military setbacks. Ramonas are talking the economy down. Here's another one. Number 13, a suppression or distortion of news from the front, usually rationalised as necessary for morale or security. And so we're caught in this situation at the moment where there are an increasing number of people seeing that there are problems either with Brexit as a whole or even just parts of Brexit, like, for example, Euratom, like, for example, the customs union and single market and the Irish border. Like, for example, a whole bunch of other frameworks like the European Court of Justice and the Medicines Framework, and what rejecting the European Court of Justice and rejecting that framework would mean, because our pharma industry don't want to slash and burn red tape, and so if that doesn't get sorted in time, they'll lead. All this new information that's coming on board, and our government are saying, no, we're going to press on anyway. General election 2017. Very, very clear that Theresa May did not get her mandate to continue as is. And yet, British general attitude, we're going to do it anyway. So what would be sensible at this stage is to acknowledge that there needs to be a clear rethink, to go back to the EU and either ask for more time, you know, keep the nutty ultras in a cage rather than ruling the show, and go back to the EU and say, look, these are our clear issues. Look, we would even consider staying under the right circumstance. Can we have an open discussion? By the way, It's been a learning experience for everyone, hasn't it? And the whole populace across Europe has learned about how the EU works through watching our plight, as it were. We've done a favour to the rest of Europe. We're kind of like an inoculation against craziness, having actually walked through the reality of what Brexit's about. But anyway, I just wanted to take some time to flag that one up to you, because this is an attitude that we're going to have to crack, and you will meet people day in, day out that subscribe to this in different formats, along the notions of, we voted for it, so we're going to have to do it. No, we voted for it because of democracy, and democracy is an ongoing thing, which means we still have the power as people to change the direction of this. And we also have full rights, while in the EU, to determine our own course. As was pointed out by Lord Kerr, unilaterally we can say we want to drop Brexit if we want, because as full members of the EU with full rights to self-determination, we can say at any point, sorry for having wasted your time a little bit, but at the same time it wasn't so much wasting time, important education to be had, but we're dropping Brexit. So you have to remind people constantly that you can't screw yourself up over embarrassment. Think of that Mitchell and Webb sketch, getting married because it would be too embarrassing to explain that it was based on a misunderstanding. This is our future. It's important. There's information coming along all the time, and you have to be responsive to information as you go forward. You have to make people alert to this. Otherwise, they will fall into the trap of military generals saying, I am not going to go back on my well-laid plans because pride and the reputation of Boris Johnson and Michael Gove. Fuck that. We got to fight for what's right and what's the right path now. And, well, you know what I think about that. Okie dokie, that will do. Feel free to pop up comments on the Facebook page underneath this, and I'll have a little look through, and I'll do that now. All right, see you later, folks. Oh, finish it down here.